Hello, everyone. Namaste. Welcome to another golden interview where we talk about the golden period of education, which means the first 1,100 days of a child's birth, not just birth, but even before birth and the preparations and everything else that goes into bringing a baby into this world. What it means to be spiritual during this period, what you can bring to the baby, bring in to the entire process with spirituality and with conscious conception. We're going to talk about all of this and much more in the lead up to Baby on Board, a conference of one of its kind where we will be looking at all of these aspects in detail. This conference is going to be held in Hampi on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of November. And all are welcome. For more details, please log on to babyonboard.babyleela.com. And to talk about pregnancy, to talk about spirituality, to talk about all of this and much more, who else other than a doctor? And we have a renowned and well established OBGYN with us, Dr. Nishi Gupta. Nishiji, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to be here. Actually, it's all my privilege.
This is such an important period, Nishiji. And, over several hundred years, we have somewhat forgotten about our past, and pregnancy, conception, and bringing a baby into this world. It's such a special and such a beautiful process, but we have brought it down to a mere medical event these days and forgotten about our glorious past. What are your thoughts on this?
So, as you very rightly said, these days, I have seen that most of the pregnancies themselves, they are unplanned because the pregnancies, they happen by chance. Most of the parents are not conscious about the process of conception, meaning thereby that they are not even aware that so much needs to be done before a child is actually conceived. It just comes as a news to them. Oh, they are pregnant. Then it comes to their minds that whether should they continue with the pregnancy, whether what decision should they take about the pregnancy. And as soon as the pregnancy happens, most of the focus, few parents of course are very conscious. They would come with the come up with the concept that yes, we want to plan up the pregnancy and what needs to be done in the preconception time, what needs to be done in the pregnancy time. But as I said, around 70 to 80% pregnancies are unplanned. And when pregnancy happens to them, the first and the only criteria for them about pregnancy is the medical aspect of it. They will want to go for the best doctor, they want to go for the best medication, they are more focused about the the negatives and the positives that are happening as far as the medical is concerned, and they are all set once the medical is taken care of, not understanding enough that so much more beyond the medical needs to be given to the baby. And in fact, when you focus too much on the medical aspect of it, the symptoms, they become more enhanced. The symptoms of, can you just give me a moment, please? I'll just take 1 second. I'm so sorry for that.
No problem.
But
So,
what I
Nishiji,
wanted to
you're talking
emphasize,
about symptoms. You're talking about symptoms and going beyond just,
yeah,
the medical aspect.
yeah, correct. Yes. So when you're focused only on the medical aspect of the pregnancy, the symptoms of pregnancy, they feel more. I mean, because there is nothing else to focus upon.
So it
For
becomes
example,
more of
if
a
I have two
fixation.
things to do,
It becomes more of a fixation than anything else.
sorry?
It becomes more of a
Yes, yes,
fixation than
correct.
anything
More of a
else.
fixation. Absolutely. So why it becomes more of a fixation? Because if I have, say, today, I had to start off with this interview. So what I was doing before that, I was really focused on this interview, that something next I need to do. So when I'm more focused on something else, the previous one becomes very less important. So when I know that I have to look into the preconception and pregnancy beyond the medical aspect of it. Beyond the medical aspect of it, I am going to feel more less of the symptoms because it becomes less important.
Absolutely. Since
Correct?
we are here, Nishiji, let's talk about another aspect also. I'd like to bring in what planning can do and how important is it to plan and how important is it to go beyond the medical aspect of it.
Yes, correct. So now, being a golden period educator, I know that a lot needs to be done as a part of the preparation right from the preconception. So when you're talking about the preconception planning, of course, medical cannot be negated by any means. You have to go in for a set of investigations wherein you see that, okay, you're physically fit to carry on with the pregnancy. But once that part is taken care of, the second focus comes on the spiritual aspect of the pregnancy. Because being parents, we need to be very conscious, we need to be very aware that yes, we have to prepare ourselves not only physically and mentally, but also spiritually. Now I get to understand that the spiritual preparation is so important. The emotional preparation of the parents is so important, not only of the mother, but equally important of the father.
True.
So,
So it's
spiritual
holistic. It has to be
preparation,
holistic and everyone needs to be
it
involved,
has
otherwise
to
it's
be
not going to work.
holistic. Correct. That is the word. Actually, it has to. Yes. So that is the word that has to be used for pregnancy and preconception and also during infancy, as we talk about the golden period, which extends from 3 months of preconception, 9 months of pregnancy, and 2 years of infancy. So collectively, it makes around 1100 days. So in this entire 1100 days and even beyond, it has to be a holistic preparation of the parents in terms of physical, mental, emotional, psychological, social, every aspect has to be covered. Then you should go for the pregnancy. You prepare yourself for that. And it has to be like preparation. I always say, as you prepare for a journey, suppose you are planning some vacation, you prepare yourself so fantastically. You book the tickets, you take care of the hotel where you have to, you plan everything, what needs to be. I mean, the entire itinerary is fixed that this has to be done at this point of time. So why not plan your baby? The baby who's going to come into your life is going to be for the rest of your life with you. So
Absolutely.
that planning has to be the top priority of the parents.
Very true, very true. And here I'd like to bring in a point as well and state that, like Dr. Nishi has just pointed out, who's a renowned OBGYN, that pregnancies happen, babies will continue to be born, all of that will continue to take place. But if you really want to bring in a contributor baby into this world, you want the baby to make a difference, then consciously you can call upon that baby, bring that baby into your womb, and have that baby as well who will turn up and also contribute immensely to the world, because that can actually happen. Now, Dr. Nishi, bringing in another aspect here, since we are talking about the golden period education, we are talking about spirituality, we are talking about, medicine and your expertise and all of that. How has spirituality, how has golden period education helped you in your profession to make this holistic, like we were just discussing?
So, sorry, again, being only a OBGYN, my focus used to be on the medical aspect of it, right? I was not concerned about the holistic part of the planning and the continuing of the pregnancy. So once I get to know that how profound the golden period education is, this has entirely changed my perspective of dealing with my patients who come to me for the preconception counseling, those who are there with me throughout the pregnancy. And my focus I has shifted majorly from the medical. Of course, I have to manage, but I know that only medical management is not going to help the parents. There has to be this holistic preparation of the couple to bringing a child into this world, because there are so many more things to be done during the preconception and pregnancy. So when you are conscious about planning, when you're conscious about continuing the pregnancy in a holistic fashion, it makes a huge difference. Earlier, it used to be too much of me focused, meaning that what I am doing is, creating a difference only in the medical terms. But now I know that I can be a conduit to guiding the parents to bring in a child who will have a lot of other qualities because of their understanding of the holistic part of it.
Beautiful. Nishiji, since we are here, how receptive have parents been to this aspect of things? Because you interact with several parents on a daily basis, you're helping, bring so many children into this world as well. And have you seen any considerable change yourself when parents also look at this aspect of consciously bringing a child into this world and bringing in the element of spirituality and our ancient Indian wisdom?
Yes, definitely. The parents who have started taking up this entire curriculum of the golden period education, they see, like first time parents, of course, they don't have any comparative, parameters, but they're very happy when they see their child, the way their child is coming up, because though they don't have a child in the family who they can compare directly with, but to the children who are outside of the family, also those parents who have taken up this program in the second pregnancy, they see a major difference. And I keep getting these, those testimonials, you can call them, or maybe their experience of the parents that has entirely changed the way they look at the child as compared to what they previously used to see. Like my perspective about the pregnancy has changed, my perspective about the child in the womb has changed. Similarly, even the parents who are taking up this program, their perspective about what the child is, how they have to manage the child is changing dramatically.
I would also like you to speak about Nishiji, about any experiences, any kind of difficult perspectives or situations that you have been in, and you would have probably thought that maybe medically this has not been possible, but because of the spiritual connection we have sailed through. Anything like that that comes to mind?
Yes, lot of things. And I would like to narrate a few in, if we have time, I can go on and on with my experiences about the, the management of my parents and my babies. But there have been instances, like I'll tell you one special instance. There was this couple who the mother was in labor, say from early morning, and we were just waiting for the child to deliver. But then eventually by evening, because there was no progress of labor, and she also started, leaking. The water bag broke and she was leaking. So because there was no progress, so I asked. I suggested to them, because it's not working, let's go for a C-section. But they all discussed in there amongst themselves and amongst the relatives. And finally, they said, "Ma'am, is it very necessary to go for a C-section right now?" I said, "No, it's not an urgency, but because I see that there is a lot of delay in the progress of labor, and probably it's going to be a good idea to go for a C-section." But they said, "Ki, ma'am, we still would want to wait for a normal delivery." Then I asked them, "How much do you want to wait?" So they said, "Till tomorrow morning, 11 a.m." I said, "Okay, we'll monitor the labor. If that is your wish, I will go with your wishes, because there is no harm in continuing with the pregnancy, with the labor and other things, because the baby is not getting compromised. Just that I don't see that adequate progress of labor." So that was just a suggestion. We can go with it. And I said, "Okay, we'll take another call at around 11 in the morning." So eventually, gradually, the labor progressed, and she delivered exactly at 11 in the morning. I asked them, how did this come to, how did this thought come to your mind? Did you ask, maybe did you take the guidance of an astrologer who guided you that, okay, you wait till 11 and then we'll see what's going to happen? They said, "No, this was our, this came to our mind and we thought we'll wait till 11." So now I actually start understanding that how much ever we try to modify situations and we try to take situations under control, but being a golden period educator, I understand a lot of things are being, or in fact, the entire thing is being orchestrated by the baby. But the baby is the biggest orchestrator of the events that's happening. So we tend to flow with the events. I tend to flow with the events now. I don't impose myself. No, this has to be like this, and it's going to happen. It just go with the flow. So many times I have even tried to communicate with the baby, like I am standing, I'm waiting for the delivery to happen. It's not happening. It's a very complicated case. I just request the baby, please help me to deliver you. And immediately the baby delivers. And one more thing I want to point out here, that if we go into the medical literature, there is a big causative factor where it's said that it's idiopathic. A lot of the biggest causative factor for any happening is idiopathic, where even medical is not able to understand or project into the reason why a particular thing is happening. Right? So I have seen these idiopathics as connecting to spirituality.
Absolutely.
Right? We
So there
get
is something that is beyond all of this that is inexplicable, but it happens because that's
it
how it's
happens.
supposed to be.
Absolutely. And when you start understanding, when you go into the deeper knowledge of spirituality, when you become a golden period educator, you can relate to a lot of events to the way they are happening. So, it gives you a lot of peace of mind, because when I know I'm the controller, vis-a-vis, it's okay. The baby is going to orchestrate. The things are going to happen. Let things happen in the way they are meant to happen. Gives you a lot of leverage. We will never compromise. Being a medical professional, I know where to, take a call. Certain situations are where you have to take an immediate call. So I know I have to do it. It is necessary to be done. But there are situations where it's always a gray area, whether to do it or whether to wait for it, whether to take a call immediately or whether to wait for it. So there you get the leverage of your spiritual understanding of a lot of things that happen in your environment.
Beautiful.
There,
Beautiful.
there you go with the flow. You start understanding. No, it has to be. Let it be. Okay, it's okay. It's okay to let things be the way they are happening. So there, it gives you a lot of understanding and peace of mind.
Very true. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing those beautiful stories with us. And it just makes it so much more meaningful and also puts things into perspective and gives us a different bird's eye view with regards to what exactly is happening and where spirituality can be brought in and how it is not just a medical event, but there are so many areas, gray areas, where spirituality can come in and try and answer several of those unanswered questions. Nishiji, what do you think of a career in golden period education and someone who would like to take it up as as a career option or something that they would look into and go deeper into? What would you like to say to them?
It's a huge, area where a lot of people should come in. And I must say that every OBGYN should be a GP. Every OBGYN should be a GP to be able to guide their parents, their patients into the holistic aspect of pregnancy, preconception, and everything connected with that. And if a person is not an OBGYN, because there are so many OBGYNs, they are generally very tied up with their own medical aspect of, managing patients and running so many things to be done. But if this is taken up as a career by other educationists, it's a huge field and it's needed. It's the need of an hour. Needs to be done. Every nook and corner there should be a GP wherein the parents can be guided into the adequate aspect. I would say that is the basis of bringing the child into this world, because it's going to be a different world altogether. Where if conscious conception is happening, conscious pregnancy is happening, and the child during the infancy is given what the child needs to get at that point of time, it's going to create a world of difference.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I hope more and more people actually get a hold of this, get to understand what GP is, and see the beauty that lies within golden period education, because that is the fundamental aspect of bringing a baby into this world. And if you get the fundamentals right, just like any other subject in the world, just like any building, you get the foundation in place, you get the fundamentals in place, everything else then just quickly follows and becomes so much more easier. So, much more about golden period education, about conscious pregnancy, about parenting as well, and about how you can parent better, how you can bring a child into this world, what needs to be done to bring in that superhuman being, that super baby, and that contributor baby, and much more at Hampi on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of November. It is Baby on Board, a conference, so one of its kind conference that has never been seen before. You can get all the information at babyonboard.babyleela.com. Babyonboard.babyleela.com is the website that you need to go to, register, and make sure that you're part of this beautiful, beautiful conference that will take place in the month of November. Nishiji, thank you so much for being with us. It was a real pleasure to have you here. Thank you for sharing all those beautiful stories, all that information, all that knowledge as well, as both a doctor and as a GP, and how you're bringing both of these things together and contributing so much to this world and contributing to Bharata as well. Thank you. A real pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
All right, that's it on this edition of Golden Interviews. We'll see you again next time. Don't forget to log on to babyonboard.babyleela.com and get all the information there. Until next time, bye bye.